First of all, let me welcome the Viera Hawks Cheerleading squad in and their wonderful coach, Cheryl Draves. And Cheryl, I'm going to publicly apologize because this is an interview that has taken 4 years to make happen. I have promised this for 4 years, and genuinely in my heart, when I say I want to do an interview, and a lot of you know what I'm talking about because there's a lot of you out there I've promised this to, I really genuinely mean it, but we made it happen finally, didn't we?
You did.
Tell us a little bit about Cheryl Draves.
Well, I've been coaching. This is my 11th year. I'm going into my 11th year.
11 years.
At Viera High School, cheer coach for varsity, and the program in itself. It's my baby. It's my passion. My girls, my own daughters, cheer. They're competitive cheerleaders. And matter of fact, my middle daughter is now a freshman VHS cheerleader, so that's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's been my career.
So that is you at school, and that's you at home, it sounds like. Correct. Too. Now, cheerleading coaches, and I got your number, you can be meaner than football coaches. I've been to a couple of your practices, and I'm not saying mean. I mean, they're strenuous. Tell us a little bit. I think the one thing that people truly don't understand is how physically demanding cheerleading is. No,
it really is. I know a lot of people don't think that we're a sport.
Oh no.
But we are definitely a sport. Even if we're not looked at as a sport, but we're looked at as a club, I'll respect that. However, I know my girls are just as capable to take on any sport there is out there. They're lifting girls in the air above their head and keeping them there for seconds, minutes at a time. So they're constantly, they have to be physically fit. The girls go through conditioning just like any other sport does. Mm-hmm. From the first time that they make the team, we have conditioning before the spring game. And it's not just, we're going to run a lap. This is, they run laps, they run a mile. Yeah. They do, upper body, lower body, because they have to be ready at any given time.
Right. And they get hurt.
They do. I will say this, in like I said, my 11th year, I had gone 5 years going to camp at UCF, at UCA camp, and didn't have any issues whatsoever. And one camp, I had 3 injuries, pretty major injuries. I had 2 girls that were out the entire season.
Wow.
And one of them was a really fluke. It was a freak accident, but nonetheless, she was out the entire year. And it can be, it can damage your body if not done the proper way. So that is why we condition. That's why we go through the strenuous motions as far as making sure everything's right.
Like coaches in all sports, there's a love that's developed and a passion that's developed for what it is you do. Where did yours come from?
I was a cheerleader for Cocoa High School, mm-hmm. And I did all sorts of sports. I played softball, I played basketball, but I think that it really stemmed from the point of, I'm like I said, a Cocoa High graduate, class of 1998, and we had a sense of school spirit. Mm-hmm. And I feel that this day and age, we need that. Mm-hmm. We need that positivity in our schools, to be proud of our schools, to be proud of our community. And without that, it's really, what is high school? You know what I mean? Yes, it's academics, and that's first and foremost. However, we need those sports. We need the positive atmospheres, and we need the school pride. And that's what my girls do. They're the liaisons of Viera High School. And they have They have huge standards to stand up to, and they have expectations, and they all know their expectations. And I commend them on that because they will never forget that.
They are the first, I always call them the first line of happiness you see when Correct. You walk into an event or you come to it. And I'm not necessarily talking about a sporting event, any event. Mm-hmm. Really, they're at the door, they're waving these beautiful pom-poms. And by the way, this is the second night in a row that we've recorded a video where a coach has come to the studio with some awesome swag. These pom-poms are great. The, what is that thing called?
Megaphone.
Well, I thought it had a fancy name. A megaphone back there over top of the television. So, again, coaches, we want you all in here. but you must come correct. and Cheryl has absolutely brought us a lot of cool stuff. And in case you're wondering, cheerleading coaches out there, we would love to have your staffs in here, you and your teams in here as well. So reach out to us and let's get it scheduled. Cocoa High girl, huh? Is it tough standing on the sidelines when last year Viera gets the first ever win over Cocoa in football, and it was the best game of the year.
Yes.
How does Cheryl Draves react at a Cocoa Viera football game?
It's tough. It really is. I lived in Cocoa my whole life up until 2 years ago, and I moved to Viera, and it was tough because I know Coach Rowe, who has been in the community for forever. I was actually his very first basketball manager.
Okay.
And we have stories upon stories about basketball and managing. And he always told me, he's like, "Are you sure you look better in that orange and black?" And I was like, "I don't know, Coach." But he's taught me a lot as far as my coaching ability and what to do. And there's a sense of being tough, the respect, and being fair. But it's hard to look at your alma mater across the
Sure.
field and say, but then be proud at the same time. So it's tough. But I'm proud of my girls and I'm proud of my Hawks, but I'm still a Cocoa Tiger. Still a Cocoa Tiger.
I respect that. I do, because a lot of coaches get up here and you lie to me. You tell me my heart, and I respect that answer. What separates a class of cheerleaders from one class? What makes each class unique?
Oh, that's funny you ask. It's different, because I will say this. This senior class, that the 2020 is my daughter's graduation year.
Mm-hmm.
Is my oldest daughter, so I have a different bond with them because a lot of the girls are her friend. So I've seen them grow.
Right.
Class of 2021 are the girls that have been with my other daughters in competitive cheer that have wanted to be my cheerleaders and have grown up to want to be on my team. So it's just different. The dynamics is just completely different. And you have your different classes that shine differently, but they all shine in their own way. So it's going to be a great year.
Cheerleading is the one true sport, I believe, that when you look across the spectrum of a lot of sports in high school these days, where you still have to cut people. And,
yes.
I don't care how you slice the pie in football, baseball, whatever. You still have to make cuts in cheerleading. And, I was literally blown away, and like most men out there, began watching that series about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders and the competition. And I really I was like, wow, are you kidding me? I mean, this is more intense than anything I've ever. I played hockey for 14 years, and what those ladies went through, and how they got sick about making the team and not making.
Yeah.
I never had to deal with any of that. As a coach, take us through that.
I mean, it's a very. I will say that that's one of the most stressful points of the entire year is tryouts, because you don't want to cut anybody.
Right.
There's so many different things that go into the tryouts, grades and teacher recommendations and your skills and everything else. So it's very difficult. It's a very difficult process, but thankfully I have judges, so the coaches have no say so. So we base it all on the judges.
Where do you get your judges?
In the school, in the community.
Right.
People who have been either a cheerleader before, for college, or like this year I had a judge who was a cheerleader for college and she coached a college team. I've had all-star cheerleader or all-star coaches. I've had a UCF cheerleader.
Nice.
Judge. So many different aspects on the sport, so they can see exactly the different qualities.
And it's not like this is a huge commitment.
It definitely is. It's we ended our season. We had our banquet on March 1st.
Mm-hmm.
We had our parent meeting on March 6th, and then we had tryouts on March 21st.
Wow. Now, next year, we're going to take a unique perspective into this because we are going to, and I've already talked to Cheryl about this, we are going to do this. We are going to show you how this process works, and for better or for worse, you'll see the ones that make it, and you'll see the ladies that make it and the ladies that don't make it, unfortunately. But we're gonna do this from start to finish here on 321 Sportscast, and I'm here speaking with Viera Hawks Cheerleading coach Cheryl Draves, and I just find this to be fascinating conversation. Tell us some things about being a cheerleading coach or a cheerleader that we may not know.
It's a different bond. It's a different relationship. It's not your normal, coach athlete. It's, these are my girls. This is my family.
Is it like a daughter deal?
Yeah, oh, yes.
Right.
Very much so.
Protective?
Very, very protective. If these girls hurt, then I hurt too. But I also have to keep them in line. And a couple of them, who you may talk to today, will definitely, if I have to get them back on track, I have to do that.
It's important.
During the summer.
How do you keep up with them?
We're always in contact.
Okay.
We're always constantly in contact. It's not, and I always have to, shoot out a quick text. Don't forget it's summer. Make good choices. You are still a liaison for Viera High School. Just because you're on your summer doesn't mean that you can just do whatever you want and, you have your other life.
What's your best dating advice?
Oh, stay away. You can do that after high school. Just do it after high school. Go to college.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with that. But yet there are knuckleheads that break their hearts.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
the one thing that I found, growing up is my mother used to be the one that always protected my girlfriends, for example. She would want to crack me in the skull. You're the idiot. So when you're walking down the hall and you see the guy that broke one of your girl's hearts, it's probably tough, isn't it?
It is tough. It is tough. But you just gotta see for what it is, and just take the girl, take the cheerleader under your wing, and just we can move on.
Two things I can promise you is, yes, girls do mature faster than guys. I promise you that. And the second thing is, yes, guys, we generally are at fault. So that much I can tell you. As far as the cheerleading situation in Brevard County, a Viera Hawk program is very strong. As a county, how are we?
You know what? We have great talent across the board. Merritt Island has always been very strong in cheerleading. Satellite, even Heritage, as new as they are, they're very strong as well. Because we have such great all-star gyms in our community, it really does help the sport of cheerleading. It's hard because we're not a competitive county.
Right.
So
why not?
There's different things that
That'd be cool though.
It would be neat, but in the beginning I was gung ho, let's go. But then, I went to camp and I would see how my girls would perform against the girls that go to competitions.
Right.
And they're competing at the highest level.
Gotcha.
And my girls are keeping up with them.
Right.
So, it is what it is, and we're going to respect the district. And, if we're not going to be competitive, that's fine. We're going to continue to work, and we're going to continue to be the sport.
I've done enough of these by now where you know what this look means. So, in closing, what would you want everybody to know about your girls, the 2020 class, your program? What do they need to know? Because, when I'm covering a football game and I'm on the sidelines, and this is true, and everybody will tell you this, the first person I walk up to isn't the football. I always walk up to the cheerleading coaches and say hello, because the girls are always our biggest advocate. They're our biggest fans. They throw the footballs in the stands. They hold the banners. They if we ask them to do something, they're always so great to us. But what would you want everybody to know about Viera, your girls, or even yourself?
Don't listen to the stereotypical cheerleader. It's always been, cheerleaders don't know anything and they're dumb, and they're not. My girls hold a 3.0 and above majority, all of them, and I have 22 girls, so that's
pretty good.
That's pretty good. I've had cheerleaders go, and cheer. I have a cheerleader who's a cheerleader for Jacksonville Jags now.
Okay.
And she has a great career, business
Wow.
career.
Who is she?
Belinda Pierre.
Okay.
And I've had, FSU cheerleaders, FAU cheerleaders, FIU. I mean, I've got them across the board, and they're very, very intelligent, and I don't think that they get the recognition that they should.
And I don't think that people understand how tough it is to maintain the career.
Oh, exactly. I mean, to maintain, the academics, to have our strenuous schedule that we have. I mean, we go, as soon as school starts in August, we go every single day to practice until 5:30. Then we cheer on Friday night, and then we're back at it on Monday. So it's, that's a lot of time management that they have to be able to take care of, and take care, with their family, and some have jobs, and, so it's a lot. It really is.
Well, we're going to put your girls to the test tonight, because we're going to have some fun with them. We're going to ask them some off-the-cuff questions, but we're going to find out about your girls tonight and talk to them a little bit about being a cheerleader and what it means to them. And Cheryl, thank you so much for being the first cheer squad into the 321 Sportscast studios.
Yes, thank you.
For Cheryl Draves, I'm Alan Slaughterzinski for 321 Sportscast.